So you're a dancer.
I'll be honest, I'm not a very good dancer. I'm a very good teacher.
Okay.
My city brought me up. Lucknow is the kind of place that brings you up. Your family does the work, but a lot of it is from the culture, from the traditions. It made me the kind of person I was who loved art, dance, music, everything. Yeah? And that was all given to you, almost like free. If you didn't take it, you were wasting it. There is nothing better than Surya Namaskar. It opens up every joint of yours. I think classical dance is not being paid enough. They still expect you to sort of do it for free.
Namaste. A very warm welcome to all our listeners. I'm Rashika Ojha and I welcome you to our second episode of Mudras and Metaphors. And today we have a very special guest who has done path-breaking work in the field of art entrepreneurship. She's the director of Gurukul, Dubai, Zurich and Bangalore. I welcome Somna Didi to our podcast.
Thank you, Rashika, and thank you, listeners, watchers of this podcast. It's very important for me to be here because Rashika is a fabulous person, but the mission that she has is even bigger. The mission is to reach out to more people, to make them into professionals, and that's what I'm here for.
I really wanted to invite you because I'm a big fan of you.
Thank you.
Because you are not only a dancer, but you are also making other people dancers and making them into individuals who are themselves institutions. And bringing Gurukul at a time when there was nothing in Dubai is something really remarkable. But I want to know from you your journey of bringing Gurukul to Dubai.
I wouldn't say that we brought Kathak or classical dance to Dubai. There were people who were training here for years before we came in. And there were people who were training from their homes or from sublet places, but they were not licensed. They were not recognized by the government at that point. So they were not able to propagate as much. So they were only having their own little student body who knew about them and they knew about them. So I think what we did was we made it legitimate. We licensed it. We reached out through every platform possible, whether it was Kathak. I'm sure you would have heard of Kathak. And we went through all the festivals and all the teachers and all the gurus, everyone, just to make sure with all this support and all this recognition, we are able to leverage dance in its purest form to the Dubai audience.
So I would say that you built a community of Kathak in Dubai, a family of Kathak in Dubai.
Absolutely, I would say that.
And knowing this, I see you as one of the finest examples of an art entrepreneur, especially in Indian dance. Who is an art entrepreneur?
It's a very big term. When we say arts entrepreneur, I would say it would be something like someone who understands dance well enough to be able to leverage it as a business, but keeping the ethics alive. Because without ethics, whether it's dance or business, will not survive. So my role is to make sure that whatever it is that is being created by Pali Ji, taught by Pali Ji, is being leveraged in the right way to the entire bigger audience. Yeah, and that's not just in Dubai, it is the world over, kind of. So using all kinds of channels, making sure that people are able to benefit from it, but keeping the ethics of the dance alive.
If somebody wants to be an art entrepreneur or is a dancer or an artist and is thinking of diversifying or has to move into a different career, what are the qualities that person must have to be an art entrepreneur, and how sustainable it is in today's world?
See, when we say entrepreneur, we're talking about enterprise. Which means business. Right? And the bottom line of every business is to make a green on the sheets, right? Financial papers. So that is at the core of it. You have to make sure that if it's a business, it should be sustainable and it should make some money for you as well as the people who are employed with you. Now, not necessarily too much. Having said that, it should be enough for you to not say, okay, this won't work for me. Eventually everything wears out. So most important for me is that it should make money. It should make money the ethical way. My key word is ethical. So what do? We have to have a very good source for content. Content creation should be the core value of that institution. Good content. Now, that content has to be shared with the world. It cannot be just one person, because one person is just too little. If you want to make an enterprise, you have to have more than that. So like we have Pali ji, and then she gives it out to distant teachers and me. And from there, we give it out to not just our students, but also interns who share it with everyone else. So it's a whole community of people who are sharing this art, this dance with us. So that's it. So you have the content creator, you have people who are delivering that content. Now you've delivered, but you also need to have the right environment for delivery. There is where someone like me comes in even more so. In the sense, you have to have the right place. You have your paperwork in place. You should respect the region, like Dubai. I mean, we are very, very conscious that we've taken all the KHDA approvals from the very beginning. DED licensing, KHDA approvals, DMs, all these approvals that you need for the venue as well, to make sure that it's a safe, happy environment. Well-aired, nice ventilated places, well lit up. So that environment we create. And then after that comes in, okay, now the regular teaching is on. So you need a good administrator behind you. If you're yourself someone ready who can do that, fabulous. If you can't, get someone on a part-time basis. Make sure that you have someone who's running it administratively for you. So the information from an administrative perspective is going out to people. Now you have the administrator, but again comes in the far, how do you keep the interest going?
Yeah.
Now, for that, you need to have a lot of things. Like, do you have a certification from any other board? Do you have shows that are happening regularly? Do you have platforms for your children to, students to showcase whatever they're learning? Because earlier, the concept was that only when you're ready is when you will perform.
Yes, like Rangapravesh or Arangetram. Yeah.
Arangetram. But now the thing is that you need to do hand in hand. You teach and you help them to get confidence from performing to be able to teach them more. So it's a multi-layered thing. It's not just
Yes.
because a lot of people would drop out. They would not do Rangmanch because they would feel like, oh, it's a long journey.
Yes.
Now, every time they're able to perform, that energy comes back. So creating platforms from there. So like I say, content, delivery of
To
content.
that, I have a question.
Of course.
Like, for example, Gurukul has everything in place, of course, and then financially to run that kind of space and also making sure all the rules are taken care of and it's formally done. Your fees or whatever you charge is also more.
Yes.
Of course, I
Yes, it is.
understand
Yes,
because
it
I'm
is.
coming from the same space.
Sure.
But there are so many other institutions now, I'm sure not at that time when you just started, but now there are so many other institutes which are not following the protocols and probably charging less. How do you compete or make people understand this kind of difference is what we as young entrepreneurs face every day. So would like to ask you something, because coming from your experience, we can learn.
Consistency, Rashika. You have to be consistent, and you have to make sure that what you're saying is what you're doing at any given time. Yeah. So when we say we'll charge you an X amount and we'll be giving you that much time and this level of training, and at the end of this you'll be having an exam or internal exam, and maybe once in a while you'll be having this competition or this show or whatever, you have to make sure that you do that. When you keep doing that, maybe sometimes people may come, so it's not worth my time. But believe me, they'll come back to you. When they see it after a year, they have left and they feel, oh my God, why did I leave? Because you were consistent.
So you're a dancer and you're also running Gurukul, right?
I'll be honest, I'm not a very good dancer. I'm a very good teacher.
Okay. So you're a teacher, you're a dancer, even
Well,
if you're
you
not...
have to be a dancer to be able to teach, but
and you're running Gurukul. How do you balance those roles? What takes over sometimes and what stays behind sometimes is just your inner space. What do you think about this?
I have a lovely circle of people around me. I think that has made me who I am today. Starting all the way from my parents who brought me up the way they did. My city brought me up. Lucknow is the kind of place that brings you up. Your family does the work, but a lot of it is from the culture, from the traditions, from the environment that you are sort of dipped into. So it made me the kind of person I was, who loved art, dance, music, everything. Yeah, and that was all given to you, almost like free. If you didn't take it, you were wasting it. So that's where I was brought up, in that environment. And then I was very lucky to be Pali Chandra's sister. We were living in different countries. She was in UK, I was in Canada. And then we moved back here to do something together. So she started this, like I said, with our friend Dishna. And my main goal was at that point to make sure that we are able to bring this dance with Pali ji's help and content creation to the rest of the world, like I said. I'm sorry, I forgot the question. Can you go back again? You said...
Yeah, how do you balance the
balance
three
it,
roles?
yeah. So then my main job was to make sure that I get this onto the platform. I started to retrain myself under Pali ji again because I had left it for a long time.
Long time, correct.
So I retrained under her to understand the content. If you don't know the content, what are you going to market, right? So once I got into it, I then hired the right teachers to do that. Now, it's very easier said than done because I was working for Emirates. I had an income coming in. Yes. Right? So it's easier for me to say, oh, you can do that. Or you can save up a little bit. But that is you have to save up a little for at least a year and not have to worry about making ends meet. So I would say before you launch a company, make sure that you are not feeling the pressure, financial pressure. So keep a little money on the side, not too much. Make sure that all the things that you need are there. So that's what I did as well. I kept some money on the side and I kept working with Emirates. So I would leave my house at 6:20 in the morning and I would reach home by 9 in the night. It's balancing the two for about 7 years.
My next question is to do with, your structured learning. So for example, a lot of students are learning in Gurukul. And probably initially there were not so many, but now I see a lot of students who are not just dancers, but they are institutions of their own self.
Yes, they are.
Now, to reach that level of understanding of dance and taking it so seriously, the training has to be of that rigor and depth. So, what is the structure that you follow at Gurukul? What makes it so perfect to be able to render it so beautifully into the kids or the students and the ladies that they take it up so seriously and they make dance a part of themselves?
True. Very true.
It's not something that they are just doing for money or for... we all dancers know that we are not doing this for money or power or anything.
There's so many other ways to earn money.
Yeah, there's so many other ways to do that. But you can only be so passionate that you can follow this. So I want to understand the structure, the way it functions at Gurukul. How have you organized the learning process? Just some tips for us and others who are listening.
I will say I will put down something and I will send it out to all your listeners if you want as well. The most important word, like you say, is structure. And that structure was created between Pali ji and me with the help of ISTD syllabus. We were following earlier, there was a module which was like a beginners, intermediate, advanced and super advanced or choreography classes, like a lot of people do and which is fabulous. But Pali ji was part of the ISTD institution even before she came here. Right? So she was in the formative stages of when Indian classical dance was introduced into the ISTD syllabus more than 25 years ago. She was part of that committee. And then we decided, let's try to get it here in Dubai. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that need to be ticked off, which we did, memberships and making sure that everything was being followed to the T, the environment that we give them, and all of that was being done. So we did this structure, which is very matrixed. It's very, okay, so let's say, for example, we're talking about ISTD syllabus. So you have primary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have vocational, 4 levels, which is what we do. So we do 7 plus 4, 11 levels through ISTD. Those that don't want to pursue that, we make small subdivisions for them. So there's a foundation, there's it's not exactly intermediate, it's a sub-intermediate, intermediate, advanced and super advanced. So you don't have to necessarily, but there has to be a structure in place because you cannot say that you've learned something till you have done, let's say for example, if you're teaching something. So first thing what we do is we show them what they will be learning. When you show them, they say, okay, now let's talk about it. What is it all about? So the theory behind that particular piece. Then the words or the padhant as we call it, right? Yeah. You do the padhant. After the padhant comes in the footwork. Then the body alignment, then the hand movements, and then the final facial expressions. And now you combine all of that. So this is a matrix structure. You have to follow that to get the perfect combination. Not everyone can do it at every given, sort of juncture, but this is the structure that one should follow.
Because ISTD is tedious.
Yes,
can you really tell a little bit about ISTD?
Okay. ISTD or Imperial Society for Teachers of Dancing is a UK-based organization, more than 110 years old in Paul Street. And it has 13 genres, classical formats. And the Indian classical is there's only Bharatanatyam and Kathak at the moment.
Gurukul has so many beautiful productions, and I would just mention quickly some of them: Navanayika, Aneka, and Amore.
Okay.
All these three are very different.
Yes.
Navinayika is 9.
The
Ashtanayika.
Yes.
Ashtanayika, right?
Ashtanayika plus the ninth.
Plus the
new
ninth
woman,
Nayika,
yes,
right?
That was Pali Ji driven.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And Aneka has this
Is a
student-led choreography, right?
Completely. Yeah. Aneka is now a production house in itself.
Oh.
Yeah, and they are doing shows all over the world, rather pitching for it. They've done a wonderful one in Mumbai recently.
So Aneka is from Gurukul.
It's the students of Gurukul who have come together to make this. All are only students of Gurukul, senior students who were passed out from us.
Okay.
And they have put this production together. And the girls are not necessarily in Dubai now. One is in New York, one is in Toronto, one is in Australia, 3 are in India, and 3 are in Dubai.
They come together to
They
present.
come together to make this and then showcase
this.
So
Okay.
but they're all Gurukul students and Pali Ji students as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And Amore, which is something where they worked with Bharatanatyam, flamenco, and Kathak, all
That's
three.
correct, yes,
Like
yeah.
interdisciplinary and very diverse
Yes.
kind of content coming to.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a very interesting process, I'm sure. But would you like to share something, some glimpses or some narrative from these productions?
Amore was feast for the soul in a way, because it was 5 love stories put together. It was led by Gurukul Switzerland, and there Pali Ji has 2 of her very close associates and dancers. One of them is a flamenco dancer and one's a Bharatanatyam dancer. They came together to make this, and then they brought it to Dubai, where the Gurukul girls were trained to become part of the production, and they trained there as well. But when they came here, they put the whole thing together, and it was showcased at TODA, that's a theatre for digital art. Perfect venue, perfect artistry coming together of collaborative sort of excellence in a way. Beautiful production. And the stories were so sort of touching, and talking about war, talking about Laila Majnu kind of stuff as well. All of that put together. There's various kind talking of the Almighty, the Sufi aspect.
If you can talk about the Dubai dance scene, then and now.
Okay. So when we started, this is 2006, we did the first thing. We did not know what is the target audience for us. So let's first create that audience. Yeah. So you'll not believe this. In Daktak, we had the studio where we would, but people would have to come to Daktak, go down the corridors and look for us. How do we get those people to come in? So if the audience is not coming to us, we will go to them. We actually performed in the lobby of Mall of the Emirates, in the lobby of Daktak, on the dance day, so that people would see, okay, this is what Kathak looks like. So the journey started with us moving into the comfort zones of people. Right? Then they saw and they started coming back. Also, we did a lot of work with the Indian consulate, of course, with all the other institutions that were willing to see us and appreciate our work. But at the core of all this was pure classical. We made sure that whenever we are doing something, it has to be. Music could be at times something that was amalgamation of other things, but the movement vocabulary, the tal system, the understanding of the whole content was purely classical. So we kept that very, very steady. So this was not going to shake. Everything else, we were able to go out and do whatever was needed. It's a bit of a challenge when you are told that you have to work only within the genre, keeping the classical.
Yeah.
That is something that we had to keep. So using lounge music a lot of times was not an option. So we had to keep creating music, which means investing in that as well. So it is something that you have to keep sort of tweaking.
Correct.
How much can you do? How much can you not do? So we kept doing that. That's pretty much where it was.
There were not many performances and stages at that time.
Yeah, we had to create the stage. We had to invest a lot in, like Sufi Noor when we did. It was a huge project, and we had to invest in that project. And like I say, savings worked at that time.
Yeah.
Both Pali Ji and I put in our
Because I
resources.
still struggle to find an auditorium
Yes.
in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So Dubai, I'm sure, is much better now because they have many auditoriums now.
Yeah, but then it was very difficult. Say, for example, like I say, Sufi Noor, it was at the Grand Hyatt and Hyatt Regency. And getting a stage, everything there, getting the audience through the doors. and making money out of it was not an option. So we were very blessed to have very good company backing us, Signature Events, and Mr. Sunil Grover, who helped us through this journey. He was almost my mentor for everything that I used to do in terms of the entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So that's that. He was instrumental in launching us in many ways. So, but it was a lot of investment even then.
And now, what do you think about now? How evolved it is? The scene?
Shows wise, I think classical dance is not being paid enough.
Yeah.
They still expect you to sort of do it for free, and I believe that one should not do that.
Correct.
Because when you start doing for free, people get used to it. When they
Yes.
get used to it, they will never pay you. You have to respect your dance, your art, and that is when the others will do it as well. So, my opinion, as much as anyone would say that, you have to get yourself seen, yes, get yourself seen, but at a cost.
At a cost, correct.
And that cost should be minimal, but it should be a cost.
Now, I have some questions for the struggling dancers, basically based in Dubai, because I'm based in UAE and Gurukul's one main center is in Dubai. And you have seen over 20 years so many students coming up and becoming professionals.
Yes.
So, what is the roadmap for like my students or other teachers, their students in Dubai? How can they become professionals in dance? What opportunities are there? Are there any opportunities? What should they do? For example, if somebody passes through school, what is the next step?
My take on this is that just because you're learning dance, you don't have to be a performer. You can appreciate dance. You can help dance develop. You can market dance. You can make it a business. And you can be a performer and you can be a teacher. So there are so many things that one can do with dance, first of all. So just to think that because you're dancing, you have to be a performer should be put on the side if you want to do it professionally. Because there's so many platforms, but there's so many more people.
Yeah.
So if there are like 5 platforms, there are 500 people. So do you want to compete only for those little slots that are there needed for performers? Not really. Best is to make yourself strong enough to say, I can do stagecraft, I can do media marketing, I can do the multimedia that is needed, I could be a light design person, I could be a costume designer for them. And if you just pick up, let's say, costume designing, so many people have dance studios and dancers, but they don't have proper costumes.
Yes.
Yeah, you should remake a good company, make sure that people know about you and they will come to you.
Yeah.
And then you can dance also on the side. I'm not saying that you only have to do this. You can do dance. But there are more aspects to being a dance company or a dance enthusiast than just a performer.
A must that somebody has to be on stage.
Yeah.
Someone was doing the
Learning
stage
is a big thing,
craft
yeah.
and no, they were designing the stage on their own. They were doing music. They were doing 3D effects. So I think one has to understand the other aspects of dance,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that brings me to a big question. Like when I came to UAE, I felt that there were not enough opportunities to perform. So I took on a role which I had never done, and I don't know how shabbily I did it, but I was learning. It was the role of a curator.
Okay,
So I
fabulous.
started curating.
Very important role, by the way,
Very
huh?
important, yeah. And I was trying, and plus I wanted to pay the artist. So with my baby steps, I was learning. I asked some few friends for some sponsorship and roped in the Indian Embassy, for which I'm thankful to them that they, gave us the venue, and I would pay the artists because this is what
Very
I wanted to
important,
set an
very
example that I don't know how else to tell the world that, you have to pay the artist. But by
Absolutely.
only just giving myself, I wanted to give a statement,
Right.
that, I would.
Perfect
but,
way to do it.
Yeah. So, what is art curation? How do we do, if we need to know, if we want to do that now in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, in this part of the world, how do we go about it? And is it easy? How tough it is?
See, curation is not as difficult as finding the right platform. And sponsorships have dried out.
Yes.
When we started, I remember we used to have very good companies supporting us. We had Ajmal Perfumes, Sapple that is. We had Nestle's, we had Transworld. All these companies were very happy to support whatever they could. And then we had ticket sales and all of that. But in the last 7-8 years, I think that's kind of dried out. And again, it comes from the fact that people are doing it for free very often. Yeah. A lot of times, some of the showcases that are being done free by the best of artists. and that is bringing the entire level down.
One last questions, I would say. Last question, no. In fact, because our podcast is called Mudras and Metaphors.
Okay.
So, what would be your mudra of the day? And what is the unsaid metaphor that it says for you?
Mudra of the day, the most common one that a lot of dance forms are using as well is Arala. Some call it Aral, some call it Arala. Now, when you do this, you press it here. When you press it here and you put it down and you breathe, you will see that the air is actually going into your stomach region. It helps you to breathe. And what is life if there's no breath? So this is an Arala that expresses beauty, that expresses your eyes, that sustains life for you. So for me, it would be Arala.
Okay. Thank you so much, Somna Didi, for being here with us today and talking to us. And your insights will really help everyone. And I'm sure we will get good comments as to, and maybe some people ask questions.
Absolutely.
So I will probably share them with you and get back to them with the answers. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. And if you have any questions, you can definitely write in the comments. And as Somna Didi said, that she will respond to them. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.